Good morning.
Good morning. It's Carrie and Janine from
The Passionate Home here in Downtown Langley.
We are so happy to have you with us this morning. We just thought we were live and now I'm all nervous because it didn't work. Things don't always work out the way we planned.
Right.
Talking about that, we are going to talk about painting fabric today.
Yeah.
So I got up, I was super excited because painting fabric with Annie Sloan chalk paint is amazing. So we've got lots to cover for you this morning. If you're there, please say good morning. Candace is with us this morning, and so is Krista, our new social media girl. And if you have any questions as we're talking, please feel free to type them in below so that we can answer them. And then if you're watching this later, still type them in because we will be reading them and answering questions as we go.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyone excited about learning how to paint fabric with Annie Sloan chalk paint?
Did you know you could paint fabric with Annie Sloan chalk paint?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Good morning to 17 Trace, Pub Official,
Good morning.
Michael.
Good morning.
It's not my mic, is
Good
it?
morning, ladies.
So before we get started, this paint is so, oh yeah, let's do that first.
Okay.
Sorry. There's a winner from last
There's
week.
a winner. We're going to fill this with some beautiful stuff, and the winner is...
Oh, this is from last week,
Oh,
first
yeah.
of all.
Okay.
So, what did they have to do to win?
They just...
Shared an idea
Yeah.
of how to add character
In your
to
garden.
your garden. Because every Friday, Janine and I come on here at 9:30 to share ideas.
Yeah.
And last week it was about how to add character to your garden. And it was Carla who shared her idea of just adding colorful pots to the garden, which is super easy to do.
Yeah.
So she's the winner, and you're going to fill that with wonderful things.
Yeah, it's a surprise, but we'll message you and let you know that you're the Carla that won.
So thank you so much, Carla, for watching and for making your comment. And again, we're going to give away something at the end of the day. So you might want to, not the end of the day, the end of the video.
End
So
of
you
the
might
video.
want to keep watching. So I'm going to start with just a little story because you can paint fabric with Annie Sloan chalk paint, but you could also dye fabric.
Dye it, yeah.
So,
Annie Sloan Home is saying hi, girls.
oh, good morning. Hi, Annie. Oh, now I feel pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. So years ago, my Nana passed away, and in her closet she had lots of old.
Tablecloth.
Thank you. I knew this was going to get emotional. And so a lot of us do have a lot of things that are handed down to us. And this beautiful jacket used to be this is my actual Nana's tablecloth. And we dyed it in Obasan blue and made a little jacket out of it. And so now when I wear it, I totally think of Nana. So this is a great way to keep things that mean a lot to us.
Yeah.
And what I did was, every day I find something new that this paint does. And Annie has the most amazing books. This one's called Color Recipes. And I actually followed, if you have this book at home, on page, it doesn't matter, but it's in here, I followed Annie step by step on how to dye fabric. Here she is in her beautiful home in Normandy, and I was in my beautiful home in Aldergrove. And it was amazing. We mixed it with water. Annie and I did it together. We mixed it with water and hung it out in the sun to dry. And yeah, then I made this coat.
It's beautiful.
Should I try it on?
Sure.
And then you can all see it. So really, you don't have to make a coat out of it, but you could now it's something that you can use, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty cute.
And if you have a tablecloth
cute.
that you want, like maybe it has a couple stains or something,
Mhm.
just dye it a new color, right?
Or even just bed sheets. You want to make
Yeah.
custom pillows. You could be dyeing. But today we're going to talk about painting.
For sure. Do you want to talk about shibori too? Do you guys know what shibori is? That's also in Annie Sloan's book. So we made some really cute pillows. So the pillow that's on the chair and these ones as well. So what you do is you fold your fabric, you can put elastic bands, tight little, and you dip it into the paint in different sections. So get that book and it'll show you all the steps to make some really cute
We
pillows.
could do that one time just to show you because
Yeah.
it really is amazing. It kind of reminded me of tie-dye.
Tie-dye,
right?
yeah.
You can make your own custom patterns.
For sure.
Yeah.
I was getting better at it as I went along.
Then you can't go wrong, really.
No,
right?
they're really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we have this wingback chair. Has anybody watching painted fabric before? We would love to hear from you and what worked and maybe what didn't work.
Right.
And again, of course, if you have any questions. So this beautiful wingback chair all looked like this earlier in the week.
Yeah.
So the fabric was in pretty good shape. There's just one little mark, but you would never know it. We've painted other pieces of furniture in the past and they have had stains on them and the paint just covers right over.
Yeah.
But there are some key things to think about when you're painting fabric. And for me, I believe the number one thing is picking the appropriate color to cover what you're painting.
It's easier to go from light to dark rather than from dark to light, for sure.
We had a customer quite some time ago. I don't know if you remember. She's the one who did all the pale pink set.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it was darker color, so to do a pale pink beautifully, it ended up to be like a lot of coats.
Right. More of a leather feel probably then. Is it? Or was it so?
I think probably as she built it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's so many
I
questions.
know there's so many things to cover.
Okay, so let's just talk about picking the appropriate color. So we picked Oxford Navy for this chair because it's got really great pigment and we knew that it would cover these pale, this pale color. So this is just a cotton fabric and it's actually, this is a beautiful fabric to paint.
Yeah, so natural fabrics are going to give you the best results. So cottons, linens, that kind of thing, for sure.
So what do you think of this? This is one coat of Oxford Navy. So today we're going to show you what a second coat will do. And also we're actually going to paint so you can see it happening right here.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Super fun.
So the key, number one, pick a color.
Yeah.
And number two is to realize that water is your friend. You want to mix, this is how I start. I start about 50-50. So
Right.
there is no exact recipe to do this. Every fabric will absorb differently because every fabric is different.
Right.
For instance, if you had a nap, people often come in and ask about painting velvet,
Right.
right? And that may be, you may paint that a little bit differently than you would this softer cotton.
Just sending some more good mornings to Jenna Girl, Twisted Sister, Basement Creations,
Good morning,
PBBC.
everybody.
Lots of
Everybody
people
who's
on.
there is going to want to know how to do this because it
That's
really
right.
is creative. And it's a great way to keep things out of the landfill, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the lady who brought us her father's chair? And I think he had passed away. And the chair was quite warm. Was it suede or like
I think it was ultra suede.
And the arms had gone all smooth, right? Like,
Kind of
and
leathery.
we thought, well, I don't know how this is going to work. And it was incredible.
Beautiful.
Incredible. She was over the moon. So again, you kept something that meant something to you and you kept it out of the landfill. And Annie Sloan's chalk paint gave it new life. So, okay.
Stirring is your friend, you guys. Stir,
Yeah.
stir, stir. Yeah.
So you're going to pick your color. This is Oxford Navy. Now we've mixed it right into the can because there was just a little bit of paint left. But normally when you're buying paint, you're going to pour it into a bucket and add water. So we start about 50-50, put it on the fabric and just kind of see how that looks. Now Oxford Navy has great pigment, so probably more water would have been fine.
I think
right?
so. Yeah.
You would rather do 3 thin coats than 1 thick coat. Don't think that your first coat's going to cover it.
No.
Right? Because if you put it on too thick, it tends to get crunchy. And that's often a question that we hear,
Right.
right?
Yeah, you're trying to dye the fabric rather than paint it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So in here, I don't know, can I get closer? Can you even see in here?
Probably
It
not.
just looks dark.
Just
It's
just
beautiful blue.
Okay. So normally when you first start, you want to get your fabric wet first just to make sure that it is going to absorb. So there's 2 ways you could do it. You could put your Annie Sloan's brush.
Yeah.
We should talk about using her brush.
Right? Okay, so my favorite brush is the biggest one for fabric painting.
Oh, really?
Right? I think, yeah, it just holds so much water and paint in here that you're
Yeah.
dipping less and it's all where you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good too. You're using this one.
I am because it was here.
They all work.
So, okay, what was I just saying?
So we're gonna wet this, right?
Oh, that's what we were
Yeah.
doing. Okay. So there's 2 ways to do it. You can have a bucket of water, get Annie's brush wet, and just get the fabric wet to make sure that it's going to absorb. Or I just use a mister on this one.
And a little tip,
Yeah.
we unzip this and put a little plastic bag underneath.
Yeah.
So it's not sinking into all your phone.
Let's move the couch, the sofa or the chair back a little bit, just so that we can do this. Can everybody see this okay?
Yep.
Yeah? Awesome. So we're just gonna get it wet first. And I already knew that this, so you're not soaking it. You don't wanna soak it with water and you don't wanna soak it with your paint either. Like Janine said, it's just about dyeing the fabric. So once I've got it wet, might as well wet it all here.
Vanna.
Yeah, and as Janine said, the key, one of the keys to a successful finish is to constantly be stirring. Because what happens when you're mixing the water and the paint is the paint is heavy and it'll sit on the bottom. So that when you put your brush in, that part that hit the bottom is really thick here, and then when you first put it here, that area is going to be thicker as you move along. And often people come in and say, well, mine's crunchy or crunchy and thick in some areas. That's because it was sitting at the bottom. So I like to keep a stir stick in here and constantly stir so that I have even distribution on my brush.
It also makes sure the pigments, when they separate as it sits, that they're all the same as well. So you
That
don't want to
is
have
correct.
a different
Yeah, if you're letting it
concentration
sit.
of pigments.
Yeah. The other thing I like to have is more of a smaller brush. This is just a little one that I cut the bristles off, so it's a little more stiff. And the reason I do that exactly
Get in here.
to get in the
Good tip.
grooves. Because if you're going to do a good job, you need to get into all the little areas. So let's say if this chair had, sorry, Candace, did you
No, I
have
was
a
just gonna
question?
say, we have a question. Basement
Yeah.
Creations is, do you take the cushions insert out or leave it in with plastic like mentioned?
I leave it
Me too.
because I'm not going to soak it completely. You could take it out, but I think it would be, you could put a piece of cardboard or something, but as long as you're not soaking it, your foam will be fine.
Yeah.
Does that answer that question?
Yeah.
We did put a piece of plastic in here just to keep the foam.
And I think it's easier when it's tight like this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Way
get,
easier.
because you want it to be even. If, let's say, this were a pillow,
Yeah.
you could take it out and dye it. That's a whole different look than painting it.
It is.
Mhm.
So we had some dip dyed fabrics here, and you can kind of
Yeah.
see that as they dry, they drip, and it's kind of a little bit like
A little bit tie-dye.
Mhm.
Yeah. So pretty.
Sorry, so just getting back to the brush where I've cut it, and it's a little more stiff. This is great to get in where the, oh, that's okay.
Color's coming off.
Oh my gosh. All the little tight areas, or if you had tufts and you want to get in there, don't be afraid to get your fingers in there because you want to push back the fabric and get in all the little, I don't know if you can see, but I've missed a tiny little area here on my first coat. I'm not going to fret because the second coat I will be a little more diligent about that. And you are going to have to push down when you're getting in there to get in all the areas, right?
And Annie's brushes are fabulous for that because you can just kind of really get right
Yeah.
inside there, and
Yeah.
they're amazing.
You just
Yeah,
Work it in.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's go.
It's showtime.
Can't wait to see.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Here we go.
You ready?
Ready? There you go. It's just that easy.
Look at that
folks.
cover.
Just that easy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now you can see that this particular fabric has a pattern to it. And I'm not sure if you can see, but this is a first coat on this one. You can still see those lines a little bit. I don't know, depending on the pattern, you may not be able to get rid of the pattern, but it'll be the same color. It'll really be quite beautiful.
Yeah.
It's when you're doing a brocade or something, and then you still see that pattern underneath, but it's
Yeah.
all one coat.
Yeah,
It's beautiful,
yeah.
actually.
Beautiful.
I'm doing here we go.
So nice.
Yeah. Now sometimes you see people do this. Now if the fabric had napped like velvet, I would be doing this to get in all the pile, right, evenly. And then when I'm done, I'm going to do it all in one direction so that the pile is sitting up at attention, all in one direction to dry. Any questions, Candace? Are we good?
None are coming in
We're
yet.
just doing such a great job.
There was a few questions earlier that people posted on our story.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What were they?
Okay, so Diane, are there any types of fabric not recommended to paint?
Well, like I said, I think you're going to have the best results with natural fabrics. I would always do a little test area maybe if you can. That's kind of not so obvious. And then I know that some people haven't had great luck with vinyls. Vinyl is a little bit more plasticky and sometimes it wants to peel off. I have had people use a bit of a mineral spirits to wash off the top layer and then paint their vinyl. And
I never heard of
sometimes-
that.
Yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, so it takes off that top coat kind of plasticky layer and then sometimes people have had success. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had both because I've painted vinyl,
Yeah.
like benches and things, and I've had some that does
Some are
amazing, and then you have one that I
Yeah.
don't sit on it. It looks
Sorry.
beautiful,
Sorry.
but I don't
That's
sit on
okay.
it.
And leather is beautiful to paint too.
Show them that leather chair.
Okay, I'm gonna fall over this chair. So can you see it here? So we painted this leather chair and stenciled it about, I don't know, 6 years ago or something. I think actually Crusty did this one from For the Love of Wood.
No, Mark and I did it.
Oh, Mark and you did it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Mark,
that
if
chair
you're
that Crusty
watching,
did.
there you go.
Okay, so this was Carrie and Mark. And it's beautiful. It's been used in the office somewhat. People sit in it all the time. And you can see that leather still cracks and does its thing, but it just adds to the character. I love this chair. So pretty. And this color is ducket, you guys, because that's a common question too.
Okay, I want to just show here where I'm going to use this little brush. I should have had a rag, but anyway. You can see, I'm going to lift it up. In here, I'm just going to pull it back to get into there so that when somebody sits on it or later, you are, oh, I did a pretty good job. It was just that area. You don't want little bits of the paint to show through.
So Kiwi BC is asking, can I watch this later too? Yes, it will be on Facebook, it will be on Instagram, YouTube, and also it comes out in our newsletter on Tuesday mornings. Yeah.
There we go.
How long do you leave between coats for dry time?
Oh, that's an excellent question. So I like to leave 24 hours.
For sure.
If it's a beautiful hot sunny day, put it out in the sun and let the sun bake it. But I would wait till it's totally dry before you do your second coat. And remember, don't think that one coat is all you, well, who was it who just did one coat and it was just a soft white?
Yeah,
That's all she needed, right? Cynthia, yeah. So it just depends what you want to.
Yeah, there's no exact rules for sure. I would expect to do, what do you think, 2 to 4 coats sometimes?
If you're going for a lighter color with less pigment.
Yeah.
But this Oxford Navy is incredible.
Right.
So this is first coat. This is what it looks like for your first coat. So I'm going to put this back here. Well, I'll put it over here.
So someone was asking as well about the top coat.
Right.
That's a good question.
So this chair feels pretty nice right now. So you don't have to wax it. If it feels great, just leave it. You can even sand lightly between coats to help soften it up again. If you want it to have a more buttery, leathery feel, then wax it for sure. Right?
I believe that every fabric will tell you, just feel it. This is one coat and it feels amazing. It still feels like fabric.
It does.
So I would probably say at this point, I wouldn't wax it. But after the second coat, it might feel a little more crunchy, and then, I don't know if crunchy is the right word, but then I would wax it, and then it's gonna feel like leather.
Yeah.
And also, if this chair was gonna go to a house that had kids or the spillage, I would also wax it as well. And I may wax it, I don't know.
We'll see how it turns out.
This smooth cotton off, when you wax it, it does turn into like a leather feel.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so nice.
Vegan leather.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder how they make that. Yeah.
But people do say you could sand in between if you're finding that it is a little too crunchy, right? And Annie's books, there is a step-by-step, again, in the color recipes on how to paint fabric. And that's really one of the ways I learned.
Oh, yeah.
Very step-by-step on how to do it. So these are great books. But of course, we're always here to answer your questions too.
So really, really excellent question that we get all the time.
Yes.
Oh, now I lost it. But basically, is it going to come off onto your pants?
Oh,
we get
yes.
that question all the time.
Just wear it. No. Of course not. No, it's not. Once it's dry, I mean, I would let it cure for a little while. How long do you think you'd let it cure?
Well, I think we're not painting the fabric per se as we're dyeing it.
Right.
So the color is going into the fabric, so it's not going to come off.
No.
Yeah, I would say if you've waxed it, maybe, I don't know if there's a certain amount of days.
Right.
I mean, a painted piece of furniture would take about 21 days to cure.
Exactly.
But
But I would still sit on it. I mean, you're gonna wipe the wax away the next day, right? Like buffing it almost, not really. Just
Yeah.
making sure that there's no waxed residue coming off on your
Correct.
cloth. So once it's to that point, I would use it.
I just thought of a customer last year used Annie Sloan chalk paint to repaint her outdoor umbrella.
Oh, yeah.
And tons of people have done their outdoor cushions.
Yes.
So as we're preparing as it's snowing outside, we're going to prepare for spring and to paint. It's not snowing.
You freaked me out.
Try it. Just try it. What do you got to lose,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a common question also is, do you wet the fabric again for the second coat?
Do you?
I don't think you do, no. You could just,
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it
Let's
matters
try
either.
I don't think it really matters.
That was
The
just a nice
important
thing.
thing is when you mix your paint and your water, you want to mix enough for the whole project. Because but I mean, if you're open to what happens,
Right.
then I mean, I didn't measure this per se, and if we run out, I'm just going to kind of eye it up again.
Yeah. And even from can to can, you're not going to notice the difference.
Yeah. So another question here. What can you do if you get, just a minute, an area where you've actually, your paint was a little thicker than the rest. So what would you suggest?
Well, I mean, I guess you could do it like
You
another
mean-
coat's going to kind of blend it.
Are you finished the project and it's chunky? Is there somebody live or is
Yeah,
this a
somebody's
question?
asking live.
I'm just wondering, are you finished it and one area is crunchy?
I
think-
wonder, I would probably just give it a light
Yeah,
sand
like
and
sand
maybe give it
Yeah.
a little, like a,
Yeah, just wash.
a little bit more.
Mhm.
Yes, so after it's finished.
Yeah.
One thing I like to do too when you're painting fabric is when I'm finished, I go in one direction. So you can kind of see these stripes along here. Not only is that the fabric underneath, but it's just my brush marks.
Right.
And the second coat will really fill it in. It's even like when you're painting a piece of furniture, the second coat really fills it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks good.
So this is the second coat, and I believe we're only going to need 2 coats on this piece. And I'm going to hand you the brush here, Janine, so you can do that side.
Here,
We're
you
just
guys
gonna
are
come in closer, just so they can see.
Yeah. I'm not going to worry too much about in here because that's where the cushion's going to go. But yeah. And this could be a sloppy project, so prepare your, sorry.
I'm like, were you heading?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I just get very excited because when I did the first coat on this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this paint is incredible.
Right.
Look what it can do. And it's, yeah.
Okay, so then you're going.
I do. Just, you know, when it dries, I like to see the,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. See how she
Oh,
dripped?
I dripped.
It's okay, I got it. So yeah, not necessarily, it can be a messy project for sure.
Yeah, definitely have some plastic down or something if you're doing it in the house.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
So pretty.
I don't know if you can see the difference between 1 and 2 coats.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So another question is people say, well, how much paint do I need? Well, you can see it really depends on how much water you're adding, how big is your project, how many coats it's going to do. Oftentimes, if your project is small, maybe you have a small stool at home, you just need one of the little 4-ounce, they also come in a little tester pot like this, right? And this would really go a long ways if you have 50% of this and 50% water, like that's a lot.
What do you think? So you can really tell. So I'm jabbing it in here so that I can get into all these cracks.
Well, have you ever tried this? Like,
No.
yeah, so just show, like peel back the little cuff or the little pinch here and just, oh, I did a pretty good job, but you
Oh,
still
yeah,
want to
you
get
did.
in there.
Oh yeah,
There's a
tiny
little one I
dot.
missed, yeah.
So,
And I find that the little one just kind of gets in those areas.
mm-hmm.
If you have a couch that's really soft and cushiony and fluffy, this might not be the best thing for that. It works best when it's taut, I believe. That brought me to another question somebody had asked about that. The other thing is, will it crack? It may crack on leather where the leather's already cracked. It should not crack on fabric unless you've painted it on so thick that it's just sitting on the fabric. But remember, we're dyeing the fabric in a way, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't stop.
See?
It's addicting.
It's
I
fun.
can't stop.
Oh, okay.
Now see how Janine has got some on the leg here?
Look at-
Don't worry about that. Remember, we can just water clean it
Oh, I'm making a big mess. It's
Yeah.
on my fingers, but.
and
So-
we'll wipe that off later.
Is
Yes.
there a trick
Uh-huh.
for painting a piece with white or warm white when it's already darker fabric underneath? Just
Don't
layers.
do it.
Yeah. The reality is layers.
Pretty hard.
Layers.
Yeah.
Many patience. Don't let anyone judge you. patience. Don't
Yeah.
think you're going to do it right away. It's going to take layers.
And the reality is that you might have to do it more like a leather feel because it's going to be thicker paint, right?
Yeah.
And then wax
Yeah,
it.
you may use a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's actually really good. Yeah. So there's no exact recipe. It's like making a good drink. You just make it. You just got to keep adjusting it till it's just right for your fabric.
For sure.
Yeah. How are we doing on time, Candace?
It is 9:57.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if there are any other questions, we're going to finish this chair, and it is here at the Passionate Home in Langley for you to come and see, and then we'll probably paint the legs someday.
I think so.
And then
yeah.
this chair will be for sale. But let's give away something.
Let's give away another sample pot of paint.
Okay, so if you would like to win a sample pot of paint, please share in the comments if you've ever painted fabric. Share a photo. We would love to see what you've done. And of course, if you have any questions, please put it in there. But if you want to win a can of paint, share your project so you can inspire other people.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to have a guest.
Yes! You may know Lori from here at the Passionate Home. She is our in-house interior designer, and she is like pretty much an expert on iron orchid design. So we're going to have her in to show us how to use an image transfer, maybe some stamps, maybe some molds. We'll see what she ends up doing. Yeah, it'll be a
So
lot of
we're
fun.
really excited about that because people have lots of questions about the iron orchid products. And thank you so much for watching today. We hope you learned something. And we hope that you save a piece of furniture out of the landfill and use Annie Sloan chalk paint. So have a great day, stay safe, and thanks for watching.
And the people who haven't done a project,
Yeah.
maybe they could upload a picture of something they'd like to do.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they
sure.
can enter to win too.
That's a good idea. If you
Sure.
have a project that you want to paint, and of course, if you need any tips, we're here.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye. Oops.